Previously on Court of the Digital Menagerie.
Jaxon has committed both slander and libel against me. He made false and harmful statements in person on March 20th, calling me a dictator and claiming that I sought only to silence him.
This case has a much more nefarious, malicious purpose.
On March 12th, 2025, the defendant, Jaxon, uploaded video in which the contents defamed our beloved server owners and incited violence among the people. Because of this video, my property and many surrounding bases have been vandalized by revolutionary propaganda.
In response, you had said, "No, I don't really think that. I'm just playing it up for the plot," with a laughing emoji. Could you explain these texts to the court and how they contradict your previous statement with the plaintiff?
Conversations not involving me about the revolution with similar rhetoric is still true.
Yes, it's still true.
Negligence is when basically you owe someone a reasonable duty of care. So a person conducts lack of reasonable care at the foreseeable, keyword foreseeable, that means it can be kind of guessed in the future, right? Like you can see that line of thought, cause of action, all that stuff, right? And it would cause harm. Every single one of us, myself included, did to an extent accept a foreseeable risk when we came onto this server. It was that one, we understood we had to follow the rules, right? And two, that was basically just be respectful and common sense type stuff, right? Like just, you're going to be on somewhere, make sure you do it at the right time. If you're going to take someone's stuff, ask them, that kind of thing. You know, act like adults, basically. Which I realize I'm saying to a Minecraft court. So, there's 5 elements. You gotta have the legal duty owed. You got that. That's there. That's on all of us. You have to breach that duty. It has to cause harm, and the actions are cause in fact of harm to the plaintiff. That means we use the if-but test. It basically means if this didn't happen, would these damages still happen to whoever they happen to?
Shut up and sit down.
Apologies, Your Highness. Could you explain proximate cause again?
Sure. Yeah, you can call me Your Honor. Your Highness, I think about proximate in like the physical sense. Would this have happened if the person wasn't actually there, or if they were not nearby? So let's say Jackson's point A, Jackie's point B, the environment, and like other people are point C. We take out point A, do damages still happen to point B? If they do, then proximate cause isn't there. If they don't, then, well, point A is the proximate cause. So we're basing negligence off have you caused harm to resources? So that's going to be to the realm or to Jaci.
The 40 signs were littered throughout the zoo, on Pink Castle's property, within the house, around this city. Some of the signs were in Zoe's property. We caught Jaxon today putting a sign up before court. We have screenshots of that. Then I can cite specific times where he inspired the rhetoric of the signs, and he is the proximate cause of those signs. I can't prove that he did all of them, but I can prove that without him, most of those signs wouldn't exist.
I'd like to call Jaxon to the stand as a witness. Could you please state your name for the record?
My name is Jaxon. My gamertag is Snaxon.
Excellent. Now, do you care for anyone or anything on this realm?
Of course I do.
Could you please just give us a quick overview of what that means?
I care for Seth and my children and of myself.
Now, let's say in a hypothetical universe, there was something that maybe Seth or one of your children did and it hurt you. How would you respond to that?
I would probably have a conversation with them about it.
Interesting. Now, some people would go straight to putting signs up everywhere, but it seems like you're not the type of person to do that.
No.
Why would you choose a peaceful conversation with the person over putting signs all over their property?
Well, signs are a one-way conversation. There's only one way to communicate, and that's through person to person. Reaching the solution between those two people would take two parties. A sign would only notify one person of their wrongdoing and wouldn't exactly afford anyone any justice through their creation.
It seems to me that you really value artistic expression, the free flow of ideas across people's thoughtful and meaningful conversations and change. And I've watched all of the videos in full, Your Honor, that the plaintiff has talked about. And it seems to me that those are much more representative of Jaxon's true intentions in change making rather than the signs that the plaintiff has put up for everyone's opinions, you know? There's signs everywhere defaming people's property. I think there's no clear evidence that my client has ever put those signs up. The plaintiff speaks of a screenshot. I have not seen this. I know we're in open evidence, but I would like to see it if it does exist. Apart from that, is there anything else you'd like to say about how much you care for people and how reliable you are?
I would just like to say that I care a lot about this server. I care about the people that are in it. I care mostly from my daughters and my family. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Seth. And I'm just a businessman. I have helped Zoe on occasion. I have helped others on occasion. I've had peaceful conversation with Hudson, and I hope that we find a peaceful resolution through this court case.
I have a couple questions for you related to the signs around my property, around Zoe's property, around the city. Do you have anything to do with them? Just first question.
No.
You haven't placed a single sign anywhere on the server regarding rhetoric you've used or regarding court cases or regarding your revolution?
Within my own home, yes. Outside of that, no.
Okay. Additionally, if there were perhaps a screenshot of your something you've said in chat to the entire server that incited people to do something like this, what would you have to say to that? Do you think you have incited someone to do this?
No, I don't believe so.
Just in regards to you not inciting anything. From 316, they wish to silence us, but they were never silent our spirit. Spread the fire. Spark the flames across the map. Let the wildfire scar their reign. What did you happen to mean by that? Could you not have expected someone to think, I should do something in reaction to seeing this?
In what kind of reaction?
Any. Do you think it could have caught... What was the intention behind that statement? Was it not to incite people to react? To do something on the server? Per your words, you asked people to spread the fire. Spark flames across the map. Let the wildfire scar, specifically my reign. What did you intend when you put that out?
You know, I don't think that I intended anyone to gather or organize, and I did not intend any signs. If we're linking these two phrases together, fire is the complete opposite of wood. I don't think that they consist in the same idea. I don't think that I incited anybody to take any action with that. I would say that's hyperbole myself, the phrase of let the wildfire spread.
Okay, well, you say it's hyperbole, but that doesn't mean that others wouldn't take it as truth. You can't speak for others' actions, but you can have the probable thought that, if I say this, someone might take this seriously.
Well, when anybody says anything, I think that they can't control other people's reactions. And I don't think that me making any statement would necessarily force someone else to do something else. Or incite
I'm
anybody
not
to
saying
do
you forced anyone. I'm saying, did you not see the foreseeable causes of statements you've put into chat? Even if you did not intend for somebody to do something, do you not think it's foreseeable that someone might react to what you stated? You told people to cause disruption.
No. And I would also say that that's not my words. I never once used disruption in that hyperbole. I myself am a poet and honor my words. I value my speech, and anything I say
Okay,
could be a metaphor in itself.
if that's what you want to say. So, Just two examples of things that you have put into chat showing up on signs all over the server. Multiple times you have said Viva la Revolution, or just Revolution up flat out. There are signs that have said Viva la Revolution.
You have
You put multiple times into the chat things relating to the Les Mis Revolution, specifically the quote, "Do you hear the people sing?" There were two signs directly out front of my home saying, "Do you hear the people sing?" and "There is a life when tomorrow comes." You don't think that's in any way related to what you have stated?
No, because Les Mis is a very popular musical. I doubt that my existence would change the fact of whether or not someone would put a Les Mis sign outside your home, especially because it's so popular in itself.
I'm not
and
denying that it's
people-
popular, and I'm not denying that nobody else would know it. I'm saying that these signs are in conjunction with other signs saying, "Down with the zoo. Free them. They bite the hand that feeds them." When dictatorship is a fact, revolution becomes a right. Boss makes a milli. I don't make jack. That's why I riot to take it all back. Again, down with the 1%. Seed of revolution is repression. These signs were with, in conjunction, and related to all the other signs present. Therefore, in relation to the revolution that you have started and admitted to starting. You're trying to say that you putting rhetoric into the chat and then it showing up on signs across the server is not in any way related to you.
I would like to ask the plaintiff to prove to me that I've said such phrases as "boss makes a milli, I don't make jack." And I would actually question how you are correlating these signs. From the looks of it on these signs, none of the written patterns match. I don't see any connection or correlation from my own held beliefs in my own home or through my use of parody and art to connect me to these signs themselves.
So the signs with revolution all over them are not related to you and your revolution.
I don't claim to have a revolution.
You have stated to me personally, "No, I started a coup."
I would say that's a hearsay.
I feel comfortable with the amount of evidence. Jaxon, if you want to go ahead and get down, you're good to go right now. Thank you. Was not prepared for you to actually sound like a poet when you came up there. I'll let you know that one. It's not ready for that. It's nice touch. I don't know if you actually talk like that or not, but that's nice.
Hold it!
Seth, please go ahead. Speak.
All right. So, I have reason to believe that the evidence the other side has provided is flawed in that the majority of the signs that they showed us were not made of birch. They were made of other woods such as oak and spruce. They have presented us with the amount that he has placed as birch to make us think that he's placed more than he actually did, because I have no doubt that if we were to see the amount placed by them for the similar woods such as oak or spruce, it would be a widespread of everybody placing multiple signs. They're just using birch to make him appear more guilty. Plus, I believe none of the signs were actually birch.
Okay, so hold on. Let's trace this back. Are you saying that you think the signs are propaganda, like placed propaganda, or are we saying that you don't think it's linkable evidence because the defendant does not have access to said resource?
First and foremost, I would like to say that the evidence shouldn't be applicable because it isn't relevant. Birchwood versus oak and spruce signs doesn't make any sense.
Quick question. The evidence was submitted by Hudson, so I'll bring him up in a minute after you. We're not saying that all the signs are accounted for by him. We are saying that he is the proximate cause of those signs. The screenshot relating to the 11 birch signs that he placed, that was in relation to the last couple of signs under the negligent clause, which are all birch. But we've had that leaderboard put in place not 2 days ago. Those signs were not collected till yesterday, so that was just from what was collected in the past 2 days. If we'd like to look into actual evidence, we can have our judge have Jaxon and Alec provide how many signs they've placed, but I don't think that's really applicable, seeing as everybody's placed signs all over the place doing things for decorations. So that was just to say that his number increased after he placed the sign over there. That's not in relation to the negligence, all of the negligent evidence submitted. Okay, so the evidence you submitted, can you give me a brief explanation what it is about? Brief, please.
On March 26th, I was approached by Jacqueline, and it was her intention to track signs through the scoreboard mechanic that we have here on the server. As I've made it known to the server on several accounts, I'm happy to track any stat or put up any stat on the scoreboard that anyone's interested in. So I didn't think it was too crazy, and as can be seen in the screenshot on Court of the Digital Menagerie, we set a new objective for tracking the placement of birch, oak, jungle, spruce, cherry, acacia, and bamboo signs on that night at 5:48 p.m. Central Time. It was then checked approximately 24 to 48 hours later, and at that time, we had seen signs placed by 6 Spades, by Snaxon, and 1 by Devil Gnome. I personally saw Devil Gnome place the 1 sign by accident that she had actually collected just outside the courthouse around this area where it had been placed. We went and looked around and saw that 6 Spades, Zoe, had used birch signs on her ice cream van that is just down the road from the courthouse. I'm sure you all saw it on the way here.
That's a different conversation. Don't bring up the van. That's criminal.
Right,
That's
the ice cream van.
Objection, relevance.
You can go. Keep going. Talk about something else other than the van.
There were new birch signs that were unaccounted for in the city and surrounding area on some of my own property, government property such as this courthouse we're in today, and some of Jacqueline's property as well, as she owns everything that I do.
That was a really stupid thing to say on the stand, Hudson, but alright.
It's legally binding.
It is. I know. I'm worried about you. This is the only you already did. The only reason I agreed to this is because I'm worried about you.
Unaccounted for player was Snaxon, the defendant, Jaxon, in the orange jumpsuit over there.
Yep, I know what he looks like. You're good.
We had unaccounted for signs on the properties I've listed.
One of which said free Snaxon right outside here on this pillar.
There's one just outside the door over there on my my bamboo farm, actually.
Yeah. And conveniently, the free Snaxon looks very similar to an ad he had his lawyer place on the back of the door.
We'll return after these messages.
Are you tired from a long day of working in the mines? And or building excruciatingly detailed megastructures? Want a chill place to hang out and grab some food and drink? Look no further than the Calico's Cauldron. We got food, drinks, so much food and drinks. And best of all, we have live entertainment.
Don't forget the cozy lounge to wind down and hang out with friends.
Don't even worry about designated drivers. We have made the ultimate one-stop shop and have an in-service where you can rent a cozy room all to yourself or with friends. Have a ball at the Calico's Cauldron and Inn.